Hello and welcome back to the weekly reading vlog. We're starting this reading vlog up here on a Monday on my lunch break because I just went to the post office and got my Evernight book box and I want to know what's in it, and because I normally film it, I decided to start the vlog with that one because I haven't read anything yet this week. I will finish an audiobook today, but we're coming to that later once I finish that. But yeah, I want to know what book is in here, because if it's like sounding good, I want to read it directly. So, interestingly enough, they don't have a theme like the normally crate boxes, which kind of makes sense. It's only a book in here, but yeah. Yeah, so here's like a flyer in here for like different horror books, kind of like you have in older books. We have like this page in the back where it's like, oh, you can also buy these books from us, and that seems to be a similar thing. I can already tell you the cover looks great. Okay, let me show you the back first. Isn't that great? I love artwork like that. So it's called Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starling. And we have this really like nightmarish cat on it. This looks fantastic. So, oh, the stenciled edges are amazing. Oh, this will look so good. Yeah, it comes with like, you know, that looks so interesting. Okay, so design-wise, it looks great. So let's see what the blurb says. You know what? This sounds absolutely great. A little bit reminiscent of Coraline, but like just a little bit. We have our main character, which is Dr. Tamsin Rivers, and she is head of research for a team to find the source of subsidence, which I don't know what that is in German, so some words can be harder. But yeah, and so her room seems to be sinking and changing dimensions, and then she finds a door and she opens the door and she finds a doppelganger. But where she is self-reportedly cruel and calculating, her doppelganger is sweet and, you know, a nice person, and then she makes some tests and seems to be human. And yeah, so she kind of wants to find out what is up with that room and with the door, and she doesn't want to lose her job while that is happening. And I'm gonna assume that at some point there are these creatures, because they are everywhere in the book. This sounds amazing. So if I'm totally honest, I will probably start this today. I haven't read anything from the author, but she has also written The Death of Jane Lawrence, The Luminous Dead. Wait, The Luminous Dead? I have The Luminous Dead on my TBR, like on my to-buy list pretty much. So yeah, now I can try her out, and if I love this book, I will definitely buy myself The Luminous Dead. So yeah, that is great. But the book looks fantastic, so I will definitely start to read that later today. So you know what I'm gonna read now. So yeah, but I will check in with you later, because we will talk about the audiobook once I finish that, because I have like half an hour left of that I will quickly finish later. And yeah, that is the start to this week. Hopefully it's going to be a great week. Okay, so as you can, well, you can't really tell, but it is now a lot later. I finished work, I went out with the dog, again, and then I made myself something to eat, you know, all of that. I finished my audiobook, which is why I wanted to do the check-in, and I did start the new book, but let's start with the audiobook, you know. Also, I'm still sitting up here because it is fucking cold down there. So, I listened to Cultish by Amanda Montel, and I gave it 4 stars in the end, because I think the book has some really, really great information. But I don't know, I think maybe because I've never subscribed to like any form of like cultural cult, like CrossFit or like Soul Cycle, I think, because I don't think they are that big in Germany. Like, I know that CrossFit, there's a lot of like hype in Germany as well, but like Soul Cycle or something like that, it just doesn't exist really in Germany. So I think because I never subscribe to any of those things, because I'm just not the person to do that, I think that's the reason because why I couldn't understand some of her opinions and aspects, because obviously I don't have personal experience with that. Also, I feel like, well, at least in my opinion, religious cults are just way, way worse than a lot of these social cults, because they more often end in tragedies. So I think for my personal taste, she didn't set them apart enough. She did set them apart, but not enough for my personal taste, which is why I gave it 4 stars. But if you are interested in a book about cults that doesn't only talk about religious cults, which I think is sometimes a little bit a problem with other literature about it, you can listen to that book or read that book. I think it's a great book. So yeah, Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism by Amanda Montel. The cover looks like this, if you want to go by the cover. But yeah, so I finished that finally, which is great because I would have lost it this evening because it took me 2 weeks to finally finish it. Not because of the book, just simply because I just didn't get to listen to much of an audiobook at all the last few weeks. So I can now give that back, which is nice because there's already somebody in the waiting list. So I did that. Then I already have the next audiobook lined up, but I don't know how much of it I will get to. And that is Lies We Sing to the Sea, because I was on the waitlist for that, because I do own the physical copy. So I will start that probably tomorrow or this evening, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully that is good. I can read with it, you know, because I do own the copy. So we'll see how that is. But I did finally get that. And then I did start with Last to Leave the Room. And I think this is really interesting. I don't really know how this will be a horror book, to be honest, because right now it seems more like a sci-fi mystery. So I'm kind of interested to see where this will really go. I mean, I only read like the first, I think, 3 chapters, so I'm 30 pages in. Not that far, you know, but on Mondays I always have less time to read. So yeah, I'm not that far in, but our main character, we get a little bit of a feeling for her, and even though she's described as this like cutthroat, cruel person in like the blurb, I don't get that feeling from her right now. I just feel like she's, you know, really job-focused person, really career-focused person, and she loves her research. But yeah, so I'm interested to see where this goes. So we have pretty much, the city is sinking kind of, but it's sinking to nowhere pretty much. And the city seems to be getting longer, even though there isn't space to get longer. It's a really weird concept. And they do some research when it comes to like sending messages through the earth. I don't really know how that's supposed to work, but yeah, she does that research and she thinks that it's connected with everything sinking, but she doesn't want to lose her research. And then in her basement is already 15 centimeters longer than it was before. It just got longer, you know. It's not the house sinking, it's kind of just the basement getting longer. Stretching kind of. And yeah, she didn't tell that because the rest of the city stretches way less, but her basement seems to be like the focal point of the stretching. So yeah, I'm at that point now. So I'm interested to see when the door comes in and this gets to horror, because right now it reads more like a sci-fi. Which I'm totally fine with, to be honest. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this is going. It's starting really interesting, if a little bit unexpected. So yeah, that is my checkup for now, and I will see you probably tomorrow with the next checkup. Yesterday and today has been utter chaos. For some reason, my whole electronics stuff seems to break down at the same time. And so yeah, my mouse broke, my headphones broke. I have to exchange a lot. I have to do some new setup stuff, which, to be honest, is why I haven't read that much. But I did want to give you an update, and I haven't filmed anything because everything seems to be breaking down around me. Which, to be fair, I am a person who tends to keep her devices and mouse, keyboard, and stuff till they break down. So my mouse was 8.5 years old now, and it stopped working. So I couldn't really edit, I couldn't really do anything. So it has been a stressful time, to be honest, because I am dependent on my electronics. So it's a little bit annoying. But I did continue a little bit with last to leave the room. I don't know. How far am I in? I'm 70 pages in now. So it is a bit. It's not that far, to be honest, but it feels so slow. And the thing is, the book only has 300 pages. I literally read already a fourth of the book. And there still hasn't happened anything. And I think my biggest problem is that our main character pretty much goes from an analytic standpoint to everything. But how? I get that the scare factor is that she is researching the door and she's doing experiments, and pretty much every experiment shows her, okay, it's a supernatural thing. But it's not scary. It's a door. I don't know. It's a door that is where it shouldn't be, but I mean, her whole city is sinking. How scary is a door? And I don't know, the book really plays with the trope of sleepwalking or losing chunks of time, but I don't really why, because most of the time she remembers everything, but then for some reason she doesn't remember 2 hours, even though she can look at the door, it's all fine for other hours. So it is a weird book, if I'm honest, and that is something that is slowing me down, together with not having time to read, because I have to figure out all of my PC setup and stuff like that. But I'm still interested to see where it goes. She has a cat. I think the cat has something to do with this, because obviously we have the cat faces everywhere. But yeah, I don't know if it's the kind of horror book that I like. I think I personally prefer my main character to be a little bit more ignorant, because I kind of takes the fun out of the scary if all she's doing is doing experiment with the scary thing. I don't know. For me, it's kind of weird. I hope that the book remedies that. But yeah, up until now, I have really mixed feelings, and it's so slow. It reads so incredibly slow. I have no idea why. So yeah, I don't know. But I will continue with it. Yeah, I didn't really read anything else. Yeah, I will now go up and further test my setup that it's now functioning, because it's a whole. Yeah, but I'm a person who's I'm a comfort person, so if something works, I like to leave it that way. And now I had to change my headphones and my mouse and my Bluetooth adapter from my PC, and I have such a struggle to get it to work together. Probably it's an easy fix, but I just don't get it because it's not the setup I'm, accustomed to. But I didn't have the opportunity to buy the stuff again that I had before, because obviously a mouse that is 8.5 years ago isn't made anymore. So yeah, it has been kind of annoying, you know. I'm not. I would say I'm tech savvy, not like incredibly, but I mean, I work in the tech industry and I know my way around a PC and stuff. Um, but yeah, it has been really, really annoying. So yeah, I'm sorry for this really quick, a little bit annoying, boring update, but I just wanted to check in. I didn't want to leave you another day without an update. So yeah, my goal for tomorrow is to read at least half of the book tomorrow. So another like 150 pages. That is my goal for like when I check in with you tomorrow. So I might read a little bit more tonight. I'm not really sure, so we'll have to see. I also don't know if I'm Skyping with my friend tomorrow. Depends probably how she's feeling. So yeah, that also changes how much time I have to read tomorrow after work. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully I will have a little bit better footage tomorrow. Okay, let's have a quick little check-in. Actually, in this light, you can actually see my real hair color, which is kind of funny. It's coming out already. I need to recolor it. But yeah, that is the orange that I had the whole time. We need to talk a little bit about Last to Leave the Room. I am halfway through now, and this is not the book for me. It is supposed to be a horror book, and I get why it's classed as a horror book, but it is not, in my opinion. I'm halfway through. You know, the only thing I don't really want to spoil you for it, you know, for if you want to read it, but our main character, she takes everything so stoically. It's so weird. I'm pretty sure what like the end thing of the book is, what like the plot twist is, that in my opinion will probably not be a plot twist. And it's so obvious, and at the same time you have no idea what's going on really, but it's not scary because our main character doesn't ever react with fear. It's just confusion on her part, and then it's like, okay, let me see what's up. Like, let me take out the microscope and let me see what is going on. It's not scary. For me, if you go and try to solve horror with science, it's not horror anymore. It's not scary. If our main character, you know, there's a door that wasn't there before. She's not scared. She's like, oh my god, that is a mystery. I have to find out what the door is. But you know, at that point, the door loses its mysticism. And yes, she can't seem to find out what the door's made out of. Like, it seems made out of wood and stuff like that. But it's getting less and less scary. And I know that obviously behind the door has to be something like supernatural, is what I'm assuming. But I don't really care anymore. Also, she describes herself kind of like this cutthroat person, and the person that comes through the door, which this is all in the blurb, so it's not a spoiler, as like this really sweet version of her. I don't find her to be that cutthroat. She's more seems to be like a lonely, career-oriented person that is kind of a little bit of like a socially weird person, and the person that comes through is like this overly friendly thing. And so yeah, I don't know, it's just so weird. I don't get it. So yeah, sadly I'm halfway through now. It's not a bad book. It's just, for me, this is more like a sci-fi mystery / thriller a little bit. Way more than a horror book. I think if I would have gone into this with the expectation that it's a sci-fi book, I would have loved it way more. But it came in my horror book box, so I had the expectation that it's a horror book, and that just for me not there. I guess it will come at some point, or this is supposed to be already scary, but I'm a scary cat. You know, you can scare me so easily with like media stuff. But this just isn't scary. It's not bad, it's just not scary. So I think why it's not a bad book, it's like missing the mark by a mile. So yeah, it's sad, you know, because I want to love it and I like it. That's not the problem. It's just not a horror book, and I wanted a horror book, so that is kind of a little bit of an annoyance. But yeah, I will finish tomorrow, and then we'll talk about like the second half. I won't spoil you because I think books like that are best read without spoilers. But I will tell you if it gets into horror more or if it just stays at what it is. But yeah, my plan is to finish it tomorrow, because to be honest, for the evening, I kind of just want to chill. We still don't have heat. I'm just really, really cold all the time, and that makes me a little bit like, you know, not the best mood, to be honest. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of gaming. I finally fixed my setup, it seems. So yeah, that is finally something nice. And then I'm also knitting a little bit. So yeah. Also, I'm sorry that you can hear my washing machine, but you know, two people can produce so much dirty laundry. It's incredible. But yeah, so that is kind of the check-in. Not the check-in that I wanted to give you, but it's the check-in I have, to be honest. So yeah, tomorrow will be a little bit more of an active check-in, you know. I would take you on more of the things I do, but to be honest, the only things I really do is sit around, do some gaming, and clean. I'm not the most, you know, active person outside of reading, so, you know, it is what it is. But maybe, depending on how far I've come, I will show you my progress with knitting. I mean, I have made some progress with the arm pieces of my red cardigan, but they take a lot of energy out of me because of the pattern. So I'm currently working on this green cardigan, and it works up quite quickly. So I will show you that probably tomorrow or Saturday. Depends on how far I've come. But yeah, I hope your reading is going a little bit more expected, and I will see you tomorrow with the final update on The First to Leave the Room, which I don't know if I like the title or not. We have to talk about Last to Leave the Room. Sadly, this book has me really, really torn. I didn't love it. I think it's neither really horror nor is it really interesting. But I still think it's not a bad book. I gave it 3 stars. I think there's the right person out there for this book, but for me the story just felt too similar. Too obvious. There really isn't any plot twist at all. It's just really, really obvious what's going on. And it just isn't scary. Everything gets explained. Every phenomenon we have, everything, it just gets explained, and then the ending is like a little bit vague, but like not really. So I don't know. I don't want to spoil the story. I think this is a story you need to know nothing to go in it. And even then, I think it's pretty obvious, but maybe, you know, not for everyone. But I feel like I've read that story in like a really similar way already. And I cannot remember which book would be really similar, but it just feels like a story that you've read already. And then it's it's not scary. I don't know why there are these like really crazy cats on here. Nothing in the book is that scary or crazy, and our main character explains everything away with science. It's really weird. I don't know. For me, this is more of like a sci-fi mystery, supernatural sci-fi mystery, and that is that. It's not a horror book in my opinion. So I don't know. I think if I would have gone in with the expectation that it's sci-fi, I think I would have liked the book more, but because I got in with the expectation of it being a horror book, because it came in the Evernight horror box from Illumicrate, and I just don't think it's a horror book. So I will definitely put it on my sci-fi shelves, just it makes more sense in my opinion. So yeah, I am still interested to read the other books by Caitlin Starling, because she has written The Luminous Dead, and I think I talked about it in this vlog, but that is a book I have on my to-buy list. I still want to buy that. I really enjoyed her writing style, and the way she tells the story word-wise, I really enjoyed, and I did enjoy her characters, even though the story didn't work out for me, and I think I don't know, the main character gets painted worse than she seems in the book, so I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal opinion about people and how I interact with people, but I don't know. For me, the main character doesn't seem as bad as everybody in the book implies somehow. But yeah, so it's not bad, it's just not what I expected. So if you like maybe more like mystery sci-fi, pick it up. I think it's kind of a quite interesting sci-fi book. It's just not a horror book in my opinion. So yeah, that is my really 50-50 opinion about this book, because I think it's sad that I can only give it 3 stars, but I just think it doesn't, like, it doesn't hit the genre. I don't know. I think it would have been better marketed as a sci-fi, in all honesty. But I did still enjoy reading it. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It's just not what it promised to be. So yeah, but I really loved the book. I think the design of the book is really, really great. So yeah, I'm still glad that I have it. It's just not a horror book. You shouldn't go in there with the expectation of the book being a horror book, you know. But yeah, I have finished that. So I will now pick up Study in Drowning next. I might start that this evening, I might start that tomorrow morning. We'll see how far I come with that. But there's the next one I am now reading. I'm doing pretty good with my reading at the moment, which I'm kind of glad. And I have a lot of books that I'm really interested in. That really, really helps, you know. So yeah, really happy about that. Yeah, otherwise I'm still not doing much because it's so cold in our apartment still. The like heating guys are finally coming next week to fix our heating. So I think once that is back on, I will be a little bit more lively. But at the moment I'm just always cold, and that really doesn't lend itself to, like, you know, a lively personality. But yeah. Also on Sunday I finally get the second birthday present from my friends, and I know now what they gifted me in books, and I'm actually really excited for the books, but we have to pick them up at a work colleague from mine, because he lives in the apartment we lived before, and it was a whole drama because Amazon, the Amazon guy just delivered it even though I told him it's the wrong address and stuff. It was really annoying, but yeah, they gifted me the, oh, what's the name? I just had it. Oh, I'm gonna put the name here of the series, but it's a series I really want to read. It's a sci-fi series, and they gifted me the complete series, all 5 of them, so I can read the series completely. So yeah, I will definitely next week start with the first one of that, because I'm so interested in it. But yeah, that is the update for today. I probably will not update you again. I'm really sorry, it's just short talking clips at the moment. But yeah, it's just I don't have the energy to film a lot, to be honest. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. We need to have a chat. I'm sorry if I'm really red on the face. I've just run errands and yeah, it has been a day. But I have really bad feelings about this book. I don't get how it has that good of reviews. I so looked forward to it and I'm so disappointed. I'm 120 pages in. So I read quite a bit this morning and I don't want to continue. I have no desire to continue and I looked so forward to this book because the blurb sounded so great. And the setting of the story is fantastic. You have two countries. They are next to each other, and the main big city where the university is split in half pretty much. And they are at war, and they are in a period of like not really official active warfare, but like warlike things are happening, just not like a full-out war. And our main character, the female, she's from the one country and they pride themselves for their literature. And they have this museum which is split in half because of the war. And it's kind of like a fairy tale of kind, where like their biggest like literary stars get put into glass coffins in the museum and they are supposed to protect the country pretty much. And so our main character believes in all of that, but she doesn't voice it. And the main theme of the book, it is a gothic novel, dark academia style, and I think I have so much mixed feelings about the book and I dislike it so much already and I feel really bad for disliking it because I think that the theming of the book isn't bad. It's a lot about misogyny. Our main character, she wanted to do literature at university, but they don't take women, and so she's forced to do architecture. And she pretty much takes the architecture course out of spite because she can't do literature and she doesn't want to do music, which seems to be the main thing that women tend to do. I don't know. There isn't any talk about any other jobs or opportunities outside of that, so I don't know. It never gets talked about, at least so far. And so she's in this architecture course and she pretty much dislikes it, not actively, but she is resentful of the fact that she has to take architecture because she was really, really good in school and, you know, it sucks for her. And still, she's the only woman in architecture. All other women do music for some reason. And so, yeah, it sucks for her. And then she has a really hard life. She pretty much was put on drugs, on medication because she started seeing things at age 10. She has an alcoholic mother. There's a lot of abuse in the family. Then she gets abused by the overseer of her course, pretty much. And the problem, I think, is she's so naive still through all of that. And I don't know if she's supposed to be that because of the medication she takes, but I don't really get that. I feel like the character is just really bland and naive, and she feels so helpless, and I despise that so much. I don't know why we need a female main character that has so much trauma happen to her that then feels so helpless still. I don't know. I find it really uncomfortable to read about. It just doesn't make it's not fun, you know. I'm not enjoying reading it because she runs into the same errors again and again, and I get that she has like PTSD like symptoms. I'm totally fine with that, but I don't feel anything for our main character. She's so bland. It feels like you're supposed to self-insert there, but why would I want to self-insert myself into a character that has a lot of trauma? I don't know. I guess there are probably people out there who really enjoy reading like that, but for me, I don't know. I don't want I don't know, I didn't enjoy reading from her perspective because she's just so uninteresting. She's all that she ever says is like all the ever showcases is her weakness. There's nothing strong in her, not really, because even if she has a stronger moment, um, it's just I don't know. It's weird. And then we have the main character. He's from half from the other country. I think his mother is from her country, and then his father from the other country. So she hates him for some reason. She's really really racist in that kind, which I don't know, never gets talked about really. And they have a rivalry, which they don't. He just happened to lend all of the university books about the author that she's so interested in when she wants to read them. And that is pretty much the rivalry. And then, so yeah, she then gets the opportunity to design the new house for the author, and she kind of gets disillusioned because once she's there, she sees that the whole estate from this author is in total disrepair because he doesn't seem to be that great person that she made him out to be, which absolutely bland naiveness. Who thinks that? I don't get how people can put other people on pedestals. And yeah, the book goes from there. I don't even want to talk about much of it. I don't get. Like, the setting is fantastic. You have this really, really dilapidated gothic house, manor type thing. You have all of these manuscript and this mystical author who doesn't live anymore, and she only gets to see him through the son of the author, and the wife of the author, who's really reclusive and doesn't really come out of her room, and she doesn't seem to like her. The setting is really, really interesting, but both of the main characters are so incredibly uninteresting and so incredibly bland, and I don't care one bit for them. Why am I even reading the story then? It's just not for the nice setting that really doesn't give me anything. So yeah, I had a really, really disappointing morning because I don't know, I wanted, this heroine who gets through all of that and who is like, this woman who's like, fuck you, I can do all of this and I will do all of this and let's do this. And instead we have this main character who's like, yeah, I kind of want to do this, but I don't know, and I can't do it without a man, I need help, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. So yeah, I'm angry. I'm really sorry if you like the book. I hate that I dislike it so much because I look forward to it so much, and yeah, I don't like it. It has over 4 stars for Goodreads, but yeah, I don't know. I think it feels a little bit like the same that I had with Babel, which is also dark academia. That book, I also disliked all of the facts that other people seem to like about the book. I really disliked about the book, and it seems to be the same with this one. It's just, the setting is fantastic. I just wish there were other characters in the setting. So, I stopped after 120 pages. I will finish this. I just need to start another book in the interim because I just cannot only read this. There's no chance. I hate myself for not liking the book, which in itself is a problem. But, I think there are important topics in here. I just think they are handled so weirdly. And I am kind of sick of reading about main characters who feel so helpless in themselves. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool, when your main character needs help and he can't do everything alone. But to have like a main character who is so helpless, so completely helpless. I mean, yeah, it's infuriating a little bit. But I mean, I guess probably, or maybe if you have a similar kind of trauma than the main character, maybe then the book hits more home, probably, but I'm glad that it isn't the case for me. Not, I had things happen in my life, but not like that, thankfully. And so maybe that is kind of different. I always was like, a really self-sufficient person. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to talk too bad about the book. I guess there's probably a lot people like about it. I just don't. So yeah, we're ending the vlog on a rather ranty note. But yeah, now it's Saturday and I deigned today as my, well, I would say like in German you say Frühjahrsputz, like spring clean, pretty much. Only that it's not spring. But yeah, I need to get our home good again because kind of with the apartment being so cold, you know, you don't really want to do things. So now I have to force myself to do things. And after that, I probably won't read anything else today because I'm so disappointed by the book that I really don't want to pick anything up right now. So yeah, you will have to come back for the next vlog for what I continue reading. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the vlog and my rant about the book. Maybe if you have read the book and you liked it, maybe just tell me why you liked it, and maybe, I don't know, another perspective will help me understand what people like about the book. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I will see you hopefully again in the next one. And yeah, have a good time. Have a good week. Have a good reading week, especially. So, yeah. Bye bye.